Hey, good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another live look behind the scenes here at the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. My name is Mike Avery, and glad to have you along with us as I do this every week. Getting ready to record the Outdoor Magazine radio show, hence the logo behind me. On more than 24 radio stations across the great state of Michigan, the podcast version of the show is available anywhere. I mean, literally anywhere. Yeah, the website, the Facebook page, Twitter, all that good stuff. But YouTube, of course, iTunes. Good morning, Craig. Yeah, we finally got into some fish yesterday. It was nice. The inside of the sailboat buoys, Craig. Chrome and green, number 7 flicker shad, 70 back was hot. Dave's along with us. Philip is with us. Brad is with us. Mark is with us. Tim is with us. Long ashes right back to you, Tim. Jen, good morning, dear. Paul checking in from hell. Norm checking in from Beaverton. Good morning, Terry. How are you? Raber Bay from the Eastern UP. Dave checking in with us. Bruce. Jason checking in from the Ford Dearborn Truck Plant. It wouldn't be a Wednesday morning without you, Jason. Doug checking in from Cincinnati. Same thing. And another Jason from the Ira Township Fire Department. It's nice to have you folks along with us. Mad Jack checking in on YouTube. Always love that as well. Scott says, good morning, my fishing captain. Well, good morning, my fishing partner. How are you today? Yeah, we did have a good day on Saginaw Bay yesterday fishing with Scott Gatza, who's on here now. Jerry Preby's on board with us this morning. Corey Phillips as well. Bruce Albert, Ross Elliott, my friend. Ross and I are lamenting. Mike checking in from Jason Jefferson. I guess I forgot to message you. You know what, Mike? I did. Sorry about that. I did. What was going on last week? Oh, last weekend was a busy weekend. Small game license, Mike says. Good morning, Jim. How are you? Hey, Jim, I tell you, it's interesting. That spot that we tried to get into Saturday, just before the wind switched, is exactly where I went back to yesterday morning, and there were quite a bit of fish in there. Been a while, Taylor. Well, why? Why haven't you been with us? Have you been busy? Mike says, hey, life happens. Amen to that. Life does happen. Thank God. Good morning, Lloyd. How you doing, buddy? My name is Mike Avery. This is another edition of Wednesday Morning Live. Easy to catch walleye from Costco. Not nearly as much fun. And are they truly walleye or are they cod, Paul? This is the first time we've talked since it's officially summer. You would not have known it yesterday. It was cold. It was cold on the water yesterday. And as I was driving east toward the bay, I actually saw frost on some roofs. Good morning, Josh. How are you? Keep killing those coyotes. Thanks for bringing me back on topic, Ross. Ross has another month of the border closure. Yeah, I don't know what's going on up there. I can tell you what, I'm really glad that I live in this country and not Canada. I've always been glad I lived in this country. But Canada, my goodness, they've been locked down worse than we ever were. Do the fish at Costco glow? Why would they glow, Doug? Anyway, here we go, Steve. Thank you. Has anyone else been having trouble with all 3 hours of the podcast version of the radio show? Steve, after I saw your comments, I went back and indeed, although it looked like I had uploaded all 3 hours, hour number 1 last weekend was missing. The description was there, but the audio file was not. So when I saw that, I went back and re-uploaded the audio file for hour number 1. So that was on me, and thank you for bringing it up. Good morning, Ed. How are you? Ed Bolanowski, Speedy Blaze, SpeedyBlaze.com. Mark says the shallow water bite is on fire. Captain Mark Pananzik. Cap, let me ask you this. Scott says lime, green, and chrome and black have been hot on the bait. That's what we found yesterday, Scott. The lime green and chrome was the hot bait. I did not try the black brass flicker shads. I should get some. Starting your summer job today, and John, good luck to you. Going back to Mark, what do you consider shallow? Because here's what was interesting. Canada is run by socialists. That's why. Exactly, Taylor. Yeah. Although, well, I'm not going to go that direction. We got our fish yesterday on the inside of the sailboat buoy, and I saw that storm building up north of Linwood, and I told Scott, I said, let's make one run through the skinny water on the way back in. Happened 2 weeks in a row. I did not know about the 2 weeks, Steve. Thanks for bringing it up, and thank you for the reminder that it's on YouTube as well. Ross says he's ready to go fishing. So am I. 8 to 10 feet. Okay, well, that is what I would consider skinny water as well, Mark. Are you seeing that? Now you've really got my curiosity. I have a spot on the south side of the bay that I run in there. Do you have a spot on the west side of the bay with those depths that you're talking about being hot? Because you now fully have my attention. Because I would rather fish 8 to 10 feet of water any day of the week. Good morning, Jim. How are you? Good morning, Brent. So I made one pass. We made one pass through the skinny water before the storm looked like it was time to head in. And we got 2 nice fish. So 2 nice fish in one pass made me think, yes, yes, you're being very cryptic, Mark. Yes, he says. And how you feeling, by the way, Cap? Good morning, Lori. How are you? Bay Danak, what a great state. We have opportunities, and lots of bears on this property in the Ute. Lori's in the camper. I appreciate that, Mark. Thank you. Just got flagged for asking about licenses and yotes. I don't understand that. Why would that be? Good morning, Michelle. How are you? Hello, Corey. You feel great. That's good to hear, Mark. Skinny water for you too. Tired of getting beat up, getting to the fish. Interesting, Mike. As who was it? As Olivia Newton-John would say, "Tell me more. Tell me more." Pat got a little chuckle out of that one. If you couldn't. Scott says outside boards are working in the skinny water away from the boat. Interesting. I'll be out there again possibly tomorrow, and then certainly Saturday. I've got a trip Saturday with another one of our don't give up my day job for singing. I won't. Our charity auction winners, Martin Schindel and crew from the auction we had to benefit our little Lutheran parochial school, Trinity Monitor. Last weekend, I had Jim Boot and his crew out there. And I'll tell you what, Mother Nature has been really showing her power lately. I've had 3 days now where I've been on the water and ended up getting blown off. And a couple of them were crazy. Like last Saturday, sing to the fish, not us. I'll sing to the fish if I have to. Jeff says he has tons of coyotes in Hope. 48628. Need to have some folks come over and knock them down. Scott says he'd like some numbers, Mark. Last Saturday was very interesting. I was out with Jim Boot and his friends and his wife and his son. And we went out deeper, and I think we got 6 fish. The freighter was cool, yes. And then I got a report of some really hot action up in closer to shore. So it was time to make a move. We pulled up, we ran in closer to shore, and it was kind of a light northeast. Maybe it was straight north. I don't remember, but it's kind of light. We had a little bit of a chop. Wasn't bad at all. It was perfect. And we get over there and we get set up in this new spot. And the wind just died. I mean, it was just dead. And the bugs started to come out. And I told my crew, I said, this is what happens. You either get wind or You get bugs, one or the other. And then it started to pick up. I mean, as it switched, it went dead calm, and then it started to blow from the west. And it blew hard. I mean, it came up fast, and it blew hard. It was nice to have that 26-foot Angler Quest underneath us. You've got 3 great big aluminum tubes filled with water. The weather has been terrific here in the Mitten. Take a look at what's happening all across this nation. Monsoon. That's a good point, Lloyd. I can gripe about the weather here in Michigan, the wind, the snow or lack of it, thunderstorms, tornadoes, or whatever, but we don't get it bad. We don't have these massive wildfires they have out west. We don't get hurricanes. We don't get mudslides. We don't get earthquakes. We got it pretty good here in the state. Good point. Thank you. Mark says, I got some numbers for you, Scott. I'd like to see those numbers. Jim says the Angler Quest was awesome. It is an awesome rig. It truly is. The more time I spend on that boat, and I've spent a lot of time on that boat, it is truly an awesome rig. What else is coming up here? I as much as I'm enjoying fishing season, and I do truly enjoy it, I do find my brain starting to wander occasionally toward the fall. Now, I'm not wishing the summertime away at all. At all. If I could continue to stay out there and troll Saginaw Bay for walleye all year long, I would do it. The Brandon Walker tourney this Saturday out of Linwood Beach Marina, auctioning off a youth deer hunt opportunity over here at my place for the scholarship. Very, very nice, Scott. Thank you for that. Mark was on the bay on Saturday, and his yak got off the water about 15 minutes before the wind picked up. So, Mark, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was so typical. You know, you talk about the wind dying as it switches. This did. It went dead calm, switched direction, and blew like crazy. And being out there in a kayak would certainly not have been my choice for sure. Thank you, Pat. So anyway, I find my mind starting to wander toward the fall. We will know now here in Michigan on July 6th. Dave says he might miss tonight because today is his wife's birthday. Well, happy birthday to her. My birthday, in fact, is Sunday. I will be 63 years old. When I was a young man, if you would have told me I'd live to be 63 years old, I would have taken a lot better care of myself when I was younger. 63 used to sound really, really old. And it still is. We will know here in Michigan on July 6th, on whether we got our bear or elk tags. I'm still thinking 50-50 on my Doug's is today, and he's 65. Well, happy birthday, Doug. You're an old man, too. Hoosier Johnny checking in. Johnny, you're welcome here anytime, my friend. Good morning, Mark. How are you? Hello, Maria. How are you, my dear? I am certainly 63 is an old, Maria says. Maria, I can't tell you how much me and my family are enjoying the slip that we rent from you every summer. I appreciate it so much. And I might be thinking about needing that wider slip for next year, and I'll leave it at that. Phil was 66 on the 15th. Are you always trolling the bay, or have you drifted? No, I'm always trolling. Always trolling. That's how I fish the bay, is I troll, Jeff. That's my thing. That's my what do they call it? I don't know. That's my deal. Good morning, Kevin. How are you? My name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Morning Live, our weekly live look behind the scenes here at the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. Shall I take just a minute by January? Okay, yeah, Maria, I can do that. Not a problem. Let me tell you who's on the show this week. Ed Rutherford, Captain Ed Rutherford of Trout Scout Charters up in Alpena. I think if he's not the longest running captain on the Great Lakes, or at least in Michigan, he's darn near it. We'll talk to him about fishing Northern Lake Huron. Then Beth Gruden of the Michigan Wildlife Council joins me. In hour number 2, we're going to talk about catfishing. And I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a change of pace between trout and salmon and walleye to talk about catfish with Catfish Andy Brennan. Then Hannah Schauer from the DNR talking about their podcast. And here at the end of the hour, in this week's Ask Avery segment, I get this question all the time, and it's very timely since in a couple of weeks we'll know about Michigan bear and elk tags. How does the drawing system in Michigan work for these tags? How does the elk system work? How does the bear preference point? What are weighted drawings? Lori's going catfish noodling again. Lori, I'm telling you, you are a brave soul. I would not do it. I know you've done it before. I would not do it. I would not go down to those murky waters and put my hands underwater in crevices and rocks to grab a catfish by the snout and pull it out. I wouldn't do it. Because my concern is I'd be grabbing into something I don't want to grab into. But I'm a big chicken. And then in hour number 3, Tim Roller joins us to talk about summertime scouting for whitetails and more. And of course, we'll wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Miner. I'm recording 2 podcasts today. Your entire body sometimes. No, thank you, Lori. Hey, Lori, I didn't see if you're on the email list. I'm sure you are. Have you been seeing the emails from Bill Piles at Ohio Bowhunting Outfitters regarding his bucks on camera? Ross has got to go. Time for work. A great day. Hopefully see you tonight. I hope so, Ross. It wouldn't be Wednesday night without you. By the way, folks, if you were not able to see last week's Wednesday Night Live, I would encourage you to go back and look at it. If you're interested in learning how to troll spoons for walleye, I was out there with Brad Dupuis of Angler Quest Boats, who is one of the best out there. You'll have company tonight? I'm surprised you didn't put company in quotes, Ross. Ross is going to be busy tonight. Hey, Ian, how are you? Got the email a couple of days ago. Looking forward to it. So am I, Ian. Scott Gatza, who was with me yesterday, who will also be joining us in Ohio, said, you know what you should do, Mike? You should have a fishing trip on the Angler Quest for everybody who's going to Ohio with us. And I said, Scott, that's a great idea, but there's 12 people going. I can only fish about 6 people on the Angler Quest. And I thought he was going to say, we'll take 2 trips, but he didn't. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that. I have not hunted with Bill. I haven't gone out of state on a whitetail hunt in a long time. I haven't gone out of state on a bear hunt in a long time, too, and I'm jonesing bad. Dave says, in our mind, we don't get old. Now my body's bill is due for my youth activity. Yes, I hear that. Although, after losing the weight, I have to be honest, I feel pretty good. I mean, I got new knees years ago. I lost a bunch of weight. I'm not complaining. I feel better than I did a few years ago. I feel pretty good for being an old guy. Mike is seconding that. He's seconding Dave's comments. Mike, have you been on the bay this week? I know you guys were over here last week hitting it hard. Pat, who's doing the show this week?
I am.
Oh, Patrick is. Good morning, Randy. How are you? Dave's down 27 pounds. Good for you, man. Good for you. I told you I was recording 2 podcasts, a Polar Craft podcast and an Angler Quest podcast. The Angler Quest will be with John Bergsma of Great Lakes. If he doesn't stand me up again, it will be. Pat looked at me. Patty's got one more chance.
All right.
He does it again, and we'll never hear him on a podcast ever, and that's a promise. And then we're talking with Roger Neeson, who is the product director, program manager for Polarcraft. Phil says he was in the Seabees for 12 years. His knees are bad. Is that now? Forgive my ignorance, Phil. Is that because of the water? I don't know. I'm genuinely curious. You have not, Mike. Okay, but you did pretty darn good last week when you were over here. That's for sure. Turn it up, Pat. Let us hear it. This is just a test, by the way. Casting is a good workout. Casting is a good work. You know what, Dave? Trolling is actually a good workout, too. Anybody who says trolling is a lazy man's way to fish isn't taking it very seriously. There's enough room at the back of that Angler Quest. I'm going back and forth and back and forth. And I actually get, on a day of fishing on the Angler Quest, I actually get about 5,000 steps in just from fishing, just from moving back and forth from the helm to the back of the boat and side to side, about 5,000 steps in on a day in the water fishing. So, yeah, that's not a bad workout. I mean, it's not the 10,000 I'm looking for. 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. All right, my friends, I'm going to have to go to work here. I'm going to switch from this microphone to this microphone, boom, boom, boom. And I'm going to actually put on an official pair of headphones. I'm going to record the first segment of this week's show. Much of Seabees are construction force of the Navy. I think I knew that, but why the bad knees? From the construction work on land? Sorry, Phil, I'm ignorant to that. Feel free to stick around as I record this first segment. And I look forward to seeing you tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Have a good day, my friends. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine Show right here on the Outdoor Magazine Radio Network. My name is Mike Avery, and I am so glad to have you along with us as we once again continue this celebration of this outdoor lifestyle here in the great state of Michigan, and occasionally beyond, on what is the first full weekend of summer since we have last talked. But I'll tell you what, it hasn't, I don't know what the weather's going to be like by the time you hear this show, but as we are recording it, Mother Nature has really thrown me some interesting curveballs. Even though it's officially summer, I froze my tail off on the water the other day. And as I was driving over to the marina, there was frost in the yards and on the roofs of some of the houses on the way over to the bay. And it was cold on the water that day too. And the water temp dropped like 8 degrees. And there were a couple of other days where Mother Nature kind of had her way with us as well. And, you know, I've talked about this before. This is one of the reasons why I love to get outdoors and deal with the natural world, with critters and fish and weather. Because you can't control it. And I think that's important in today's world, that we have these experiences that are beyond our control, and all we can do is adapt to the situations. You, we have no control over whether it's going to rain, no control over whether it's going to storm, no control over whether it's going to blow. We have limited control in getting the fish and critters to cooperate with us. Some things are just beyond our control. We have to deal with them, and I think that's wonderful. Why, you might say? Because in our everyday world, in our everyday technologically advanced world that we live in now, we are used to doing something and getting immediate gratification and an immediate reaction. You pick up your phone, you make a phone call. You touch your iPad, the screen comes alive. You click the mouse on your computer, it wakes up. almost always these things happen immediately, and you don't have to go through the frustration. Now, I realize there are technological frustrations, tech frustrations, right? But when we get outdoors, that goes away. A couple of examples of this. I was out fishing last weekend with Jim Boot and his family and friends. Now, Jim was one of the folks who won a charity auction and got a fishing trip with me to benefit our Trinity Monitor Lutheran School. And Jim, I appreciate your generosity. We went out into deeper water, and there was a little bit of a northeast or a north blow. Wind. It wasn't really a blow. I mean, a nice chop. The boat control was there. The fishing was okay, but I got a report that there was a really hot bite going on closer to shore. So I told the crew, I said, this is only mediocre out here. Let's pull up and let's run into that shallower water closer to shore and see what's going on. And we did that. We got in there and got set up, and it went dead calm. I mean, it went from a little bit of breeze, a little bit of a blow to dead calm, and the bugs came out. And I told my crew, I said, hey, this is what you get. You either get wind or bugs. There's one or the other. You're not going to have both. And about 5 minutes after it went dead still calm, the wind switched, and it picked up, and it started to blow. And man, did it blow. To the point where we had to pull lines and go in. And I sure was glad to have that big, beautiful, solid, stable fishing machine called an Angler Quest underneath me. And that 300 horse Merc behind us doesn't hurt either. I'm telling you what. And then yesterday I was on the water, and we were out fishing the sailboat buoys, and actually did real well fishing yesterday. The best day of the summer so far. And I could see some storms building off to the west a little bit, like up around the Linwood Pinconning area. And I told Scott Gatz, my fishing partner, I said, let's keep an eye on that. But in the meantime, let's run into some skinny water and make a couple of passes through there before the storm hits and see what's going on. And lo and behold, in my beloved skinny water, we got 2 fish first pass, and they were nice fish. But then that storm blew up and blew us off the water as well. You've got to respect, not fear, not in Michigan. I don't think we have to fear Mother Nature. We were talking about this on our live show here in the studio before the broadcast began about, we can complain about weather here in Michigan. Yes, lack of rain, lack of snow, too much rain, too much snow, the wind blowing, too hot, too cold. But we don't have these massive forest fires. We don't have mudslides. We don't have hurricanes. We have very few tornadoes. We don't have earthquakes. I mean, we've really got it pretty good here in Michigan. But we can't control what we do have. And again, to me, that's part of the appeal. I am anxiously awaiting the results of the Michigan drawings from the DNR for our bear and elk tags. People keep asking me, hey, do you think you're going to get that bear tag? I'm still at 50-50. I think 50-50 on whether I'm going to get the bear tag, and I got a really bad feeling I'm going to get an elk tag because I went brain dead for a minute, and I put down an antlerless tag. I don't know why. But then I thought more about this. I was talking with my buddy Tony, who got a cow elk tag last year after applying for years and years of trying to get a bull tag. And he said, hey, where am I going to put a great big, beautiful bull elk rack anyway? And he's right. I don't have room in my house. I got a lot of trophy mounts in my house, and there's really no more room for anything more, especially a big bull elk. So maybe I would be better off just filling the freezer with a bunch of venison. And yes, elk is venison. Elk is venison. Moose is venison. Deer is venison. They're all venison. I got some bad news this week. The Ontario border, the folks up there continue to drag their feet. Man, am I glad I live in this country. I've always been glad I live in this country. And I have some great friends up in Ontario, but I would not want to deal with that, what they have to deal with up there. Going to be a while before we get back in there. Breaking my heart. I feel so bad for these outfitters, these guides. They've lost 2 years of business now. I would suspect some of them will not recover. And I find myself now, too, my mind once in a while drifting off toward the fall and the hunting season. Now, I am not wishing away the summer fishing season at all. By the time it gets to be mid-August and hot and muggy, I might be, but not right now. I am enjoying the summertime, this early part of official summer. I am enjoying fishing tremendously. Now that I seem to have gotten my mojo back, by the way. It took a while. And it is. So much of it is confidence. When I was fishing with Brad Dupuy of Angler Class last week, he said, just be patient. It'll come back. And he was right. It did. It did. So I feel like I'm good to go now. Now I can leave the dock and feel comfortable and confident that I'm going to catch fish. And that's a good feeling once again. But I do find my thoughts drifting off to the fall hunting season. I think I have made the decision now. I think I'm officially checking the box in my brain, my old brain. I'm having a birthday this weekend as you're listening to the show, so I'm yet another year older. Checking the box that I am going to go to a crossbow this fall. I think that's what I want to do. Not I think. No, that's what I want to do. Do you hear that, Pat? Oh, okay. And I'm excited too. I want to try a new product from a Michigan company, Rec Broadheads. I want to use Michigan-based products whenever I can. And Matt Taggett there at Rec sent me some heads to give a try, and I'm really looking forward to those. Some fixed blades, some expandables. I think with a crossbow, I would feel comfortable using an expandable head. But now I just want the opportunity to put one of those through an animal, put one of those through a critter. I'll let you know how that goes. Coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine show, Captain Ed Rutherford, one of the longest running charter captains in Michigan on the Great Lakes. He's out of Alpena. He'll be talking to us. Then Beth Gruden from the Michigan Wildlife Council will join us as well. In hour number 2, we're talking catfish with Captain Andy Brennan. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be an interesting conversation. Hannah Schauer from the DNR talks about their new podcast. This week's Ask Avery segment, details and questions on the DNR's drawing system for bear and elk. And in hour number 3, we'll talk with Tim Roller of Whitetail Journey about the summertime scouting and what else is going on in his world. And, of course, we'll wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Miner. That's all coming up this week right here on Outdoor Magazine. I've never seen that before, Pat.
You already know. My phone went. I was getting a text message, and you were just getting a little interference there.
No, but I've never. Let me wrap this up. Yeah. All right, my friends, have a good day. Appreciate you joining us. And if you can, please join me tonight at 7:00 for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Kind of a boring Wednesday Night Live compared to last week. I'll be in my studio at the house. I would encourage you, though, to go back last week and check out that video from Saginaw Bay. All right, I got to go. Have a good day, my friends. Talk to you tonight.